Throughout the entire day, Rockstar has rated us on Twitter with artwork for Red Dead Redemption 2 every 30 minutes, a new character. And hopefully they're done. It should be done. It just turned midnight in the UK. They started things off with the man himself, Dutch, and I'll just show you how far we're going to go. And we're going to try and be quick when it comes to all the characters. Their quotes, maybe a few quick words about each character. Some of them are actually new characters we didn't know about till today. Are there at least their names? And I think they're going to wrap it up with Arthur. That would make sense. Okay, so in no particular order are we going to go over the characters. It just depends on how they appear in the file that I put all these awesome bits of artwork in, courtesy of Rockstar, regarding Red Dead Redemption 2. First off, it's Charles Smith. He is the Native American character in Red Dead Redemption 2. He's going to teach Arthur how to hunt, apparently, with a bow and arrow, according to the gameplay trailer that dropped nearly a month ago. And here's his quote: "The amount of hell we've raised, we're owed something back." Next is the legendary Bill Williamson. Some of you may know him from Red Dead Redemption. Quote unquote, "Don't try anything stupid, and we won't do anything unkind." And that's kind of fitting coming from somebody like Bill Williamson, who isn't too bright himself. And what's interesting, and you look at the butt of his rifle, there's like little scratch marks, little tallies. So apparently, I guess he's keeping a tally on how many kills he's gotten. Okay. I guess we all have our hobbies, right, Bill? Next is Molly O'Shea. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Well, her last name. And we see her in a screenshot with Dutch. So I'm guessing that she and Dutch are very close. How close? I guess we'll find out. She's probably a very important figure in the upper ranks of the Vanderlyn gang. And here's her quote: "You're playing a dangerous game." So she's going to be a very interesting character in Red Dead Redemption 2. Of course, I think most of these are going to be interesting characters. Rockstar's usually pretty good when it comes to characters. Next is Susan Grimshaw. She looks like one of the older characters, or at least one of the older female characters appearing in Dutch's gang. Quote unquote, "I swear half of you would just rot in your own filth if nobody kept you in check." So maybe she's the one that is trying to get everyone out of trouble, or maybe she's the voice of reason, or whenever someone has an issue, she's kind of like the mother hen of the gang. It'll be interesting to see exactly how each of these characters fit into the Vanderlyn gang, what their personality is, their importance in the gang, the pecking order that they're in, as well as the role that they're going to be playing. By the way, let me know below in the comments section which of these characters are you most interested in besides the main ones. Obviously, most of you are going to be like, well, I like John Marston or Arthur Morgan or Dutch. You know, go with another one of these characters. Maybe even one of the new characters that we're going to be introduced to. Of course, the big man himself, Dutch Vanderlyn. Quote unquote, "They're chasing us hard because we represent everything they fear." And he's always been anti-government. He always thought that the world would be a better place without government. And I'm surprised that his quote didn't have anything to do with fire, because he's very obsessed with fire for some reason. And that's a very nice knife you're holding, Dutch. Moving on. Okay, so anyways, here's the cook of the camp. So we do know about Pearson's role. He's the cook. He's the guy you bring the deer to, or whatever food you're hunting for out in the woods with Arthur, in order to keep the camp fed and happy. Quote unquote, "The people are happy and well fed. I think perhaps we'll be okay." So as long as you provide food for Pearson to cook for the camp, things will be okay, more or less. Next is Josiah. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Some people say it's with a J, some say it's with an H, some say it's silent, but I've seen people pronounce it a different way. And this is Dutch's best friend, Hosea Matthews. I'm going to pronounce it Hosea, even if it's Josiah, because there is a Josiah coming up in a few minutes. So I don't know. Anyways, quote unquote, "I wish I had acquired wisdom at less of a price." So apparently he's going to have wisdom, an older gentleman, you know, Dutch's best friend. They've been around for several decades together. You know, they were a pair of hucksters trying to rob each other. And he's obviously done some pretty stupid stuff in his life, and that's what he probably means by that he's acquired his wisdom by doing some pretty dumb stuff. So anyways, let me know below in the comment section if I mispronounced his name. I want to pronounce their names correctly, but that's like a really old name. And you don't exactly run into people called Hosea or Josiah spelled that way anymore. Next is MICAH Bell, or Micah Bell, another name I'm butchering most likely. I think it's Micah Bell. Okay, I'm going to pronounce your name correctly because he's obviously not a very friendly guy. Quote unquote, I believe there's winners and losers and nothing else besides. So I get the feeling that this is going to be the troublemaker in the Vanderlyn gang, and I know that's saying something. You know, a whole band of outlaws on the run from the Pinkertons and law enforcement. Yeah, he strikes me as the the black sheep among all black sheeps, right? Next is MARY-BETH Gaskill. She's a new character. Now, it's very possible we may have seen her already in one of the previous trailers. I think she's the girl that says, "You will never change, I know that." I believe that's the quote she says. I think this is her. I could be wrong about that, but I think that is MARY-BETH Gaskill. And here's her quote, "Gentlemen, I think I've got something good." I don't know what she means by that. I guess you could take it whatever way you want to. I have no idea what kind of book she's reading, but what we do know is apparently MARY-BETH is a learned woman. She's smart. She knows how to read because why else would she have the book? She obviously knows how to read, and that's actually quite an accomplishment for almost anybody back in the late 1800s. Next is a new character, Leopold STRAUSS, another guy, obviously learned, intelligent. He apparently knows how to read. He has a book. He has cash. Does this imply that he's going to be the money man in the Vanderlyn gang? He's the quote-unquote accountant. He's the one that keeps tabs of all the money that they've withdrawn from various bank accounts and boats and trains and people. Possibly. It's just a theory. I mean, it doesn't say he's a doctor, and he has cash, and he has this book which could have numbers in it, facts and figures. So I'm guessing he may be the unofficial accountant of the Vanderlyn gang. That's just my theory. And here's his quote, quote, "It's a nasty world out there, and it's catching up with us." Next is Karen Jones. I believe she's been mentioned a few times in various articles, and she looks kind of cool, kind of friendly as well, and she's thick. Yes, most of you probably noticed that already. Let's get that out of the way. Quote unquote, "Running scams, robbing banks, screwing over the rich, and horrible." It sounds like she enjoys her occupation, being a member of the Dutch Vanderlyn gang. Next is someone who really doesn't need any introduction at all. A younger John Marston. Guess about all I got left now is doubts. Doubts and scars. And I could just imagine him saying that in his voice. And I cannot wait till we first get to hear John Marston actually talk in future gameplay, hopefully coming up very, very soon when it comes to Red Dead Redemption 2. So yes, once again, we know the younger John Marston is going to be in Red Dead Redemption 2, and most of us are very excited about that. Now here's an old amigo of Mr. Marston's, Javier Escuela, and Senor Escuela, also featured in Red Dead Redemption, as some of you may know. Quote unquote, "If we have to fight, we fight. If we have to run, we'll run. If we must die, we'll die, but we'll stay free." And a lot of people think that this is the best of the quotes so far, and let me know below in the comment section which of these quotes is your fave. So we got a good look at Javier, a younger Javier Escuela, very well dressed and looking as menacing as usual. Next is Abigail Roberts. What? You mean to tell me she and John are not married? Well, they have kids though. Out of wedlock. Oh, geez, what does this world come to? Yes, apparently she is yet to officially marry John Marston. So, Abigail Roberts, here is her quote. "If they so much as put one bruise on him, I swear I'll bring the fires of hell on them myself." Now, some people in Discord were debating who she was referring to. Is it John Marston being bruised? I doubt it. I think she's talking about Jack. I think she's talking about her little boy Jack, okay? I think you're seeing Mama Abigail right here. That's who she's referring to, not John. I don't think she's as worried about John. But then again, I could be wrong. I had kind of like a joke in chat in Discord about how maybe she had to go on a trip or go run to the store or something, and the gang had to babysit Jack while she was away. And maybe that's what this quote's about, but I guess we'll find out when the game comes out in October. Next is Tilly Jackson, and we saw her in the gameplay trailer as well, briefly holding hands with Arthur. Is there some sort of romance going on here between Tilly and Arthur? Possibly. I guess we'll find out once again when the game comes out in, 7 weeks from now, and I'm very excited about that. Here is her quote. Most of us grew up hungry and scared and alone, one way or another. And it's possible that you may have more than one romance option in Red Dead Redemption 2 if you wish to go that route at all. Maybe you can, maybe you don't have to, and maybe Tilly is one of those options. Another one of those mysteries that we have yet to have answered. But if you go by previous games made by Rockstar, like Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto 4, Red Dead Redemption. Well, Red Dead Redemption, yeah, John's only love interest was Abigail, obviously. Next is little young Jack Marston. That's right. Yes, before he became very annoying around the end of Red Dead Redemption, as some of you may know, without including spoilers, here is young Jack. And, yep, he is alive in 1899. He's about 4 or 5 years old, because I think he was born in 1894, according to Red Dead Wiki. And here's his quote. Did you catch the bad guys? Oh, kids. If you only knew who the bad guys really were, Jack. If he only knew. Next is another character, much loved by the Red Dead Redemption community, Uncle. A younger uncle, but obviously the only thing really different about him is the fact that his beard isn't as white as it ends up a few years from now. People call me lazy. I'm not lazy. Just don't like working. There's a difference. And this is definitely another quote that people got a good chuckle at. And that definitely sounds like something that Uncle would say. So on one hand, he's got a cup. I'm guessing that that cup probably involves some sort of alcoholic beverage. And on his other hand, he is sporting a pretty sweet looking gun. Looks like maybe a double barrel shotgun. Could be wrong about that. But anyways, moving on to Lenny Summers. We've seen him in a few trailers so far. One where he's drinking at the bar with Arthur. One where he's going in to rob a bank with Dutch. And here's his quote. Living free out here like this, I wouldn't have it any other way. By the way, I love the lever action, and I really wish that that would have been one of our little treasure hunts in Grand Theft Auto Online. Much prefer that over a stone hatchet, Rockstar. Moving on to Sadie Adler. That's right, dual welding Sadie Adler, one of the baddest girls in the Wild West. She is one not to be messed with. Quote unquote, nobody's taking nothing from me ever again. So obviously something happens to Sadie during the events of Red Dead Redemption 2, and that's probably where the quote comes from. I mean, I guess we don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to make that deduction, right? Moving on to another new guy, Josiah. And that's why I'm calling him Josiah and the other guy Hosea. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing his name. I probably am. And I know people are going to be really salty with me over it in the chat. It happens. Every little thing you do wrong, people notice. So Josiah TRELAWNY. A lot of people were saying that he resembled a certain stranger in Red Dead Redemption. The stranger is some sort of mythical figure that shows up throughout the story with John. Some people have debated over the years, is he simply John's conscience? Is he a god? Is he an angel? Is he the devil? Is he the Grim Reaper? I don't think that Josiah and the stranger are one and the same. For one thing, it looks like Josiah is dressed a lot nicer, a lot fancier, even though they both have top hats and sweet-looking mustaches. Quote-unquote, how can romance ever be silly? It's all we have. Truer words have never been spoken, Josiah. Next is, yes, our protagonist, the anti-hero of Red Dead Redemption 2, Arthur Morgan. And this is a different artwork than what we got a few months ago, and that's something a lot of people weren't expecting today, myself included. I honestly thought that the artwork, whenever they would post it, would look more like this. I think this is more iconic looking with him holding the revolver, but at the same time, it is cool that we got some more Arthur Morgan artwork. And here is his quote, "We're thieves in a world that don't want us no more." I hate to say this, Arthur, because I like you. I think you're a good guy. Well, maybe not a good guy. You know, you have your moments. And I'm going to enjoy playing you when Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out. But this is probably one of the dumbest quotes. Since when has people ever liked thieves? Just saying. Anyways, moving on to a new character, Reverend Swanson. And if you pay a little attention to Reverend Swanson's look, he's been through a lot. He clearly hasn't shaved in a while. He likes to drink, and if you look at his arm, Yeah, he likes to inject himself with something. The guy obviously has been through a bit. And here's his quote. Quote unquote, I had a real suffering and I lost everything. My vocation, my faith, my family. So here's a guy, for a rhyme or reason, ended up with the Vanderlyn gang. And he's still going by a reverend, even though maybe it's like a joking, where he's like mocking himself or mocking his faith or what he used to believe in. So this is another fascinating character I think we're going to see in Red Dead Redemption 2. His backstory, along with all the other backstories, are going to be absolutely fascinating. And like I said, once again, let me know which of these characters are you looking forward to learning more about. Reverend Swanson seems very, very interesting in my opinion. Next is Shane MACGUIRE. Yes, the young Irish lad. And he has been mentioned, let's see, in some of the articles a few months ago. And it was weird because at the time, it seemed like he had like 2 separate last names. I think the writers in those articles were just making a mistake. I think they accidentally called him something else. I forgot what the other name was. I think it was O'Malley, I think, or O'Reilly or something like that. But anyways, his name is officially Shane MACGUIRE or Sean MACGUIRE. I think it's Shane MACGUIRE. But here is his quote, "Just leave it to me. I can talk a dog off a meat wagon." Okay, so apparently Shane is quite the talker. And refreshing one last time just to make sure they didn't post another artwork of another character, because there was like, I think 23 total. So once again, Arthur Morgan, Sadie Adler, Sean MACGUIRE, or Shane MACGUIRE, Reverend Swanson, Josiah, TRELAWNY, however you pronounce his last name, Lenny Summers, MARY-BETH Gaskill, along with Uncle, Tilly Jackson, Javier Escuela, Karen Jones, Jack Marston, Abigail Roberts, John Marston, Leopold Strauss, Bill Williamson, Charles Smith, Micah Bell, or Micah Bell, I think it's Micah, Pearson, Susan Grimshaw, Molly O'Shea, Josiah Matthews, please correct me in chat. I want to pronounce his name correctly. I do. I really do. And finally, Dutch Vanderlyn himself, leader of the Vanderlyn gang. So feel free, chime in below in the comments section. Let me know which of these characters are you most excited about. Which of the artwork did you like the most? Which of the quotes did you resonate with? Which one was your favorite quote? Which one was the funniest one? Which was maybe the dumbest one? Maybe Arthur's quote? I'm just saying. Feel free and chime in below with your thoughts, comments, views, and opinions regarding all the Red Dead Redemption 2 character artwork posters that dropped today via the Rockstar Twitter page.